Hey, before we get started, don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you never miss more real-life stories like this one. I never imagined my marriage would unravel the way it did. But looking back now, with the harsh clarity of hindsight, I can see the red flags were there all along. Small fractures I chose to overlook, convincing myself we were solid, that nothing was wrong. Zachary and I had been married for 4 years. On the surface, our life looked steady. A modest little house with a worn-in couch, mismatched mugs in the kitchen, 2 steady jobs, and a predictable daily rhythm. It wasn't glamorous, but it felt safe. We weren't one of those picture-perfect couples plastered across social media, but I believed what we had was genuine. At least, that's what I told myself. Beneath the routine, though, an undercurrent was building. Something unspoken, something I didn't fully recognize until it was too late. It really began with Austin. He and I had been friends since college. More than a decade of shared history, late-night cram sessions, helping each other through heartbreaks, laughing until our sides hurt over stupid inside jokes. There had even been a brief romantic moment once, a short fling that ended as quickly as it began. In my mind, it was long buried under years of friendship. To me, Austin was steady, safe, familiar. To Zachary, though, he was a threat. At first, Zachary didn't say much. He was polite when Austin's name came up, even friendly when they crossed paths. But I began noticing the subtle changes, the tight set of his jaw when Austin texted, the way his expression shifted when I laughed at one of Austin's old jokes, the silence that fell whenever I shared college stories. I brushed it off, telling myself Zachary was just insecure. After all, I was married to him, not Austin. I assumed it was jealousy he'd eventually grow past. I never truly listened. The breaking point came when Austin invited me on a group trip to Myrtle Beach. It wasn't a secret, just college friends getting together for a weekend of sun, drinks, and nostalgia. I was excited. Life had felt monotonous, and I craved a little escape. When I told Zachary, I expected hesitation, maybe a reluctant yes. Instead, his response was ice cold. "You're not going," he said flatly. At first, I laughed, thinking he was joking. But the look in his eyes told me he wasn't. He said he didn't trust Austin, that our history made him uncomfortable, that boundaries had already been stretched too far. He admitted he'd tolerated it for years, but this trip crossed a line. I was livid. Who was he to control me? His words felt stifling, suffocating. I argued back, insisting it was harmless, that I deserved this break, that he was blowing things out of proportion. Then came the ultimatum. If you go, don't expect to come back to the same marriage. I should have stopped then, really thought about what he was saying. Instead, I took it as a challenge. That night, I packed my bags, kissing goodbye with defiant edge, and drove to Myrtle Beach. The trip started exactly as I expected. Laughter on the sand, familiar faces, clinking glasses, the warm glow of nostalgia. Austin and I fell back into our old rhythm easily, teasing, joking, confiding. But somewhere between the sunsets and too many drinks, the energy shifted. One night, standing alone with him on the balcony while the others laughed inside, the past crept into present. Moonlight shimmered on the waves as we talked about what might have been. His gaze lingered longer than usual. When our hands brushed, I didn't pull away. He leaned closer, not exactly a kiss, but something dangerously close. I froze. I didn't stop it quickly enough, but I didn't let it go further either. I told myself it was just nostalgia, just alcohol, but in my heart I knew better. The next day, still hazy from the night before, I made another mistake. Austin and I posed for a beach photo, me in a bikini, his arms casually draped around my waist, both of us smiling wide. Without thinking, I posted it to Instagram with a caption, "Living my best life." I didn't stop to consider how it would feel for Zachary. I didn't think at all. When I returned home, the silence was suffocating. His car was in the driveway, but half his things were gone. Panic surged as I called him. When he answered, his voice was flat, detached. "I'm done, Paisley. I saw the picture. I told you what this would mean." I scrambled with excuses, begged him to understand, insisted nothing happened. But he cut me off. You chose him. You humiliated me. You made a mockery of us. And then, click, he hung up. I stood frozen, the weight of my choices crashing down like a tidal wave. The fallout was brutal. Friends, family, acquaintances, they all judged. Did you really think that was okay? That photo was disrespectful. How could you do that to Zach? I deleted the post, but it was too late. The damage was done. As for Austin, whatever spark had flickered on that balcony disappeared the moment reality hit. No affair, no great romance, just blurred boundaries and a lifetime of regret. Weeks later, Zachary came back, not to reconcile, but for closure. He looked older, worn down. His voice cracked as he spoke. I trusted you. I told you how I felt, and you didn't care. I wasn't asking you to give up your friends, just to respect boundaries, and you threw that away. I tried to apologize, to explain, but he wouldn't listen. He walked out, and this time he didn't come back. The months that followed were heavy with guilt. I replayed everything, every ignored concern, every time I chose defiance instead of understanding. I thought I was protecting my independence. In truth, I destroyed the man who loved me most. Zachary went to therapy, rebuilt himself, and filed for separation. I didn't fight it. How could I? I had broken something sacred, something beyond repair. Looking back, it wasn't just a trip or a photo. It was all the moments I failed to listen, all the chances I had prioritized my marriage and didn't. Austin faded from my life for good, and there was no happy ending, just a single decision that cost me everything. Zachary is gone, and I'm left with the sobering truth. Love isn't about pride or defiance. It's about trust, respect, and boundaries.